Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today. So, as I said yesterday, not an area I want to be going long. Um, Even after that nice big move, trend is down, and we've basically rejected this area here. We've got a diagonal trend line that is forming, and I might as well just draw the bottom in because that is my consolidation area right now. It's a big consolidation area. It is above and below the slower moving averages. My oscillators are starting to roll over. They haven't crossed over yet, but they are starting to roll over at the moment, which is indicating potentially a move to the downside, which would basically be back down to the bottom of this range channel, or whatever you want to call it, but it's basically a consolidation area. So that's the outlook that we have on the higher time frames, and you can see rejection, little range bar here at the top, and then a massive engulfing bar that has come back. So still can't lose sight of the fact that it was a big move up, and this could be a retracement. We're looking to the left for structure, and there is a lot of structure here. Each one of these tails is going to offer structure. And if I just scroll to the left, you'll see lots of interaction with this area. And that is at 38.26. So we'll probably drop down to 3800 as well, which is something to pay attention to. Right, so let's just work through the 3 hours. So we've had a break last week through the 3 hour. We stayed above, a break above the moving averages on the 3 hours, or the 155, which indicates my trend. But we've been doing it for 3 weeks now, above and below, above and below, above and below. So that is just an indication of confusion, lack of direction, lack of desire, lack of everything, not looking to get involved in the market. And that is what's transpiring. What is concerning is the fact that the moving averages have come together. We are prices pretty much in the moving averages at the moment. And whenever you see this kind of view, that is when you start seeing consolidation for a bigger move. So you can see here on the 8 hour, we had this a couple of weeks ago where we were below the 155 and just above the slower moving averages. And as soon as you broke through that structure, you had this violent move to the downside. So you don't see it on the 8 hour, but you definitely see it here on the 3 hour. Get back there. You can see there it is brewing. Now if I come down to the hour, you're going to see a pretty similar picture. So in amongst the moving averages and just going sideways. So at the moment on the 1 hour, we've got a bullish crossover of the moving averages, but they're flat. They're not pointing up. So I take that with a huge pinch of salt. And what's forming at the moment, I am anticipating another move to the downside. I think that's kind of what we've got brewing. 15 minutes is more than likely the way to go. Big up, a big down. That is from a daily perspective. Just show you, it is a piercing pattern. So you can see nice big green bar. Then we gapped up, which is up to there. And then we came down and closed close to the 50% of the previous bar. That is a rejection, and it's a lower high. So I would expect us, from a daily perspective and an 8 hour perspective, I'm expecting us to move to the downside. But the structure that we do have here is something we need to pay attention to, which is 38.26. And I just want to get 3800 in as well, which is probably there, 38.12. So that's the zone to pay attention to right now. And you can see we're right here. So I'd be reluctant to jumping in short here. I want to see either a pullback and a sort of a pullback onto structure for a rejection, or I'm going to want to see on the lower time frame a better setup. So this here is not indicating anything. There could be something brewing on the 50-minute, which is what we want to pay attention to. And I suppose the only thing that we have here is that kind of structure. So for me, all the indexes are giving you the same signal at the moment. We have got a crossover of the moving averages. We are below the 155. I want to see a retest of some form of structure, and this is the closest bit of structure I'm just going to add the other level here as well. And this is more likely than this area, but put them both in, you never know. I could also just find something in between, but this is the zone you need to pay attention to. Looking for a rejection of 38.49 to 38.600. So you could probably round that off as well, 38.50 being a half round number type thing. So price coming back in there, a rejection, that would reject the moving averages. We've got a bearish crossover. If we reject the 155 like that with an inside bar, engulfing bar or pin bar, then I would be of the opinion you're looking for an opportunity to short with a tight stop above that structure or that price action that forms, and you'll be looking for a continuation down to the bottom of this big range around 37.20. So that kind of the only setup that I can see at the moment. For now, we're sideways. There's nothing really that we need to pay attention to. This gap is still open. You can see this gap here. That is still open. It didn't quite close on the 15 minutes, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see us get down here as well at 36.26, 38.26, sorry, and then 3800 as well. So, you know, if you start looking at the hour, if we do find support in this area with the moving averages like that, then you would expect another leg up. But you know, I'm just going to pay attention to the 15 minutes today. If we reject this area higher up, then I'm definitely looking for an opportunity to get back in, ride this short, anticipating firstly a close of the gap and then test these two areas. But ultimately, if that gives way, I'm looking for a bigger move to the downside here, bottom of the range. So that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. The opposite part of this is, let's just see if we can see this on the 1 hour. It's not really that strong on the hour, but I would expect us to find support at 38.50. So in other words, a break up, pull back, find support at 38.50, then I'm looking for a move back to 3900 area. So that would be the opposite of that. So there's a setup for both ways, but I think it is really messy. So what you're looking for is to pay attention to the low time frames. Keep your stop as tight as possible. If you can get on the S&P, it's probably about 160 point stop loss. So if you can keep a 160 point stop loss, then that's probably worth taking the trade. But make sure you wait for the setup. Don't just jump in, because you're going to get burnt if you jump in. So jumping in here is just going to get you burnt. There's no real direction of which way it's going to go. You might as well just toss a coin. Anyway, that's kind of my view today. So if we do reject this zone here on the 15-minute, nice tight stop loss, you're looking for short continuation, which on the bigger time frames does make sense. Otherwise, if you're starting to find support above here, you're looking for a move back to the top of this flag or range or channel, whatever you want to call it, that has formed. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.